Okay, we're back. Hey folks, this is RotorStorm331, back to doing more Final Fantasy VII Beginner's Guides. We covered Kite Seath, and now we're covering to our and last optional character being Vincent. Vincent is our second range fighter outside Yuffie and Barrett, and technically he is probably regarded as one of the worst characters in the entire game, despite his rather cool appearance. But fortunately, he's not one of your better fighters, and also has probably one of the worst ultimate weapons in the entire game, being Death Penalty, which actually increases the damage for any critical hits he lands. So he's definitely very reliant on Death Blow, which also comes with Vincent when he joins up. Similar to Yuffie, you gotta ask specific questions when you meet him in Shiro Mansion. Of course, you'll definitely need to get the key by defeating Lost Number first before you can do that. So once you give him the correct questions to talk to him when you attempt to leave, he will join up. Vincent's stats against the party pretty much indicates he has some pretty bad stats overall. He actually outdoes Aerith on some areas, but she outdoes him on certain areas, of course. In comparison against the other party after Aerith's death, maxed out 99, Vincent will have 8,488, which is ranked 8th, dead last. He'll have the highest amount of MP of 892, which is ranked 1st. 78 for strength, which is ranked dead last. 58 for dexterity, which is ranked 6th. Vitality at 80, which is second to last place at 7th. 129 on magic, which surprisingly ranks him at 5th place, because Barrett and Yuffie have better magic stats than he does. 98 for Spirit, which is ranked 2nd, and Luck at 1st place, which is a 4-way tie between him, Tifa, Kite Seath, and Yuffie. So overall, Vincent is pretty bad in general in terms of some of the other stats. He's not going to be one of your better attackers unless you equip the side direct to give him an additional plus 20 on his strength and magic. But overall, Vincent has some pretty unique limit breaks. He only gets one for each one. And unfortunately, you can think of Vincent as a poor man's Gao, because unlike Gao, where he can learn mobile monster rages and gain different attacks and different status effects, Vincent is kind of locked to these limit breaks for the duration of the battle, and some of these limit breaks are actually pretty terrible, especially if you're going against enemies with certain elemental absorption abilities. So that actually puts Vincent at pretty bad in terms of limit break damage and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and cover each of his 4 limit breaks. So the first one he gets by default is Galleon Beast. It's basically when Vincent transforms into any of these forms, he also gets either an increase or decrease on stats based on the form he transforms to. When he transforms into Galleon Beast, he'll get an increase in defense by 20%, and dexterity also gets increased by 50%. This also increases his max HP to 130%. And he also gets the following attacks to use any of the 2 attacks he gets during this form. Berserker Dance allows Vincent to deal 1 and 1/2 times normal damage to one enemy. This is also treated as a physical attack for the most part. The second one is Beast Flare. This deals fire elemental damage to all enemies, and it's treated as a magical attack. This deals 3 and 3/4 times normal fire damage. So this is one of the few elemental damages you get to deal to enemies through limit breaks. But again, this form is actually useless when you're going up against enemies that are capable of absorbing fire or nullifying it. Vincent's level 2 form is Death Gygus. And you need to defeat 40 enemies before Vincent gets access to Death Gygus. I actually made a mistake in my notes, not including that when writing down Death Gygus's boost. So when he goes into Death Gygus, his defense will increase by 50%, but his magic defense decreases by 70%, and his dexterity also gets decreased by 20%. His max HP, on the other hand, increases to 200%. The attacks that he gains access to are Giga Dunk. This is a physical attack. This deals 2 and 5/8 times normal damage to one enemy. And Livewire, which is treated as a magical attack. This deals 4 and 3/8 times normal lightning damage to all enemies. Again, this is also one of those rare instances where a Limit Break has a little damage priority. Alright, so level 3 Limit Break is Hellmasker. He'll get access to this Limit Break by the time he defeats 56 enemies. This actually increases Vincent's defense and magic defense by 50%. No HP increases from this one. So the first attack he gets access to is Splatter Combo. This is physical attack, and it deals half damage to up to 5 enemies randomly. His second one is Nightmare, which inflicts the following status ailments: Sleep, Poison, Silence, Confusion, Frog, and Small to one enemy. So this one's actually useless if the enemy is immune to any of these status ailments, but you'll definitely want to use that for the Splatter combo. Vincent's final Limit Break is Chaos. So he'll get this after you get access to the sub and get access to the Waterfall Basin Cave, where Vincent's former love interest, Lucia, resides. So after you speak with her, you need to fight a certain amount of battles, up to anywhere between 10 to 15 battles. Then come back to the cave where you'll find the Limit Break as well as the Death Penalty ultimate weapon. So Chaos, when Vincent uses it, increases his defense and magic defense by 100%, which is basically a big increase from Hellmasker. So the attacks he gets access to are Chaos Saber. This deals physical damage and deals 2.5 times normal damage to all enemies. And he also gets access to Satan Slam, which has a 28% chance to inflict death on all enemies. To enemies that are immune to death, this deals 5 and 5/8 times normal damage to all enemies to those that are immune to death. So this is basically its strongest Limit Break, and by the time you get this, you should basically use this at all times when you're using this Vincent. So that covers Vincent pretty much. If you are heck bent about using Death Penalty for Vincent, it's probably best to use Death Penalty and basically make full use of the sniper rifle with Death Blow, so he gets triggers a large amount of critical hits. So that way you can actually boost up his damage output if you're planning to use him in the long haul. But there's other party members that can do way better as a mage and better than Vincent, and his Limit Breaks are kind of not as fun as you would think it would be. But anyway, I'm going to take a small break and get ready to cover Sid's stats and Limit Breaks. He'll be our last guide for this stream, and once we're done later today, I will find some time to highlight them and export them to YouTube at a future point. But I'll be right back and get my thoughts in order, get my throat hydrated, and I'll see you all soon.